resets. Prestiging has always been a bit of a dilemma. Do you give up everything for bragging rights? Dead by Daylight really thinks we're bragging because we've prestiged everyone, don't they? They really think we're like, ha ha, hey Frank, hey, I've prestiged my character. Yeah, I know, can you believe it? And Frank's on the phone like, I ain't got time for that. This is why have you done that? What? Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, Survivor Susu here. And today, we're going to be doing a video requested by my dearest friend, Brad Stacks. Brad, if you're watching, what's up?
What's up?
Shout out to Brad. Check out my homie, because he's requested this video a few times, and I've put it off, because I'm a little bit of a ranter, and let's get into the video. Today we're going to be going over the patch notes, and let's just say I've been hearing mixed things. Some of my friends say they don't know if they're going to play Dead by Daylight anymore because they really hated it, and some of my friends are saying, oh, this is great, the devs are finally listening, blah blah blah. But we're going to see what Susu thinks today, because I always seem to have a mixed feeling about things, and I always seem to have a very negative output on Dead by Daylight, and as you should, you know, being an active member of the community, we got to live up to our name. How dare they think that Dead by Daylight viewers can be a nice, non-toxic community? No, we want to be toxic. We live for the toxicity. This is what Dead by Daylight is about. You go on a game with 3 brain cells. This guy's winning. No, please come get me, Elodie. That don't communicate with each other.
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Elodie! And you think you're playing well. Okay guys, so here we are, developer update. Let's get started. During our 6th anniversary, okay, yeah, I can't be bothered to read that. Okay, June 2022. I've never done one of these videos before, so just bear with me. I might be a bit weird about it. All right, Overhauled Progression system. First of all, I have no idea what the frick this means.
You stupid.
What the fuck is overhauled? What does that mean? We are going to do a searcharoo. Oh my god, I look yellow. I'm a fucking Simpson. Okay. Overhauled. Yeah. Meaning, yeah. Overhauled. Past participle. What? Take apart a piece of machinery or equipment in order to examine it and repair it if necessary. British. I love how this is just like British. Overtake someone, especially in a sporting event.
What the fuck?
Joe Dammy?
Joe Mama?
I've never heard that name. It's supposed to be British. Joe Dammy overhauled his chef rival. Good for you, Joe Dammy. Good for you. Okay, yeah, I still have no idea what I mean. I guess they're saying they're trying to fix their progression system. I really don't know. Let's just read. Collecting all the perks has been an important goal for many players. I know a lot of people that just don't Prestige. Just saying. I know people want perks, but let's be real. I have access to like all the perks in Dead by Daylight, and I only use like 10 perks maximum. Let's be real. Let's be real. Collecting all the perks has been an important goal for many players. However, since both the number of perks and characters are constantly increasing, the grind expands at an exponential rate with every new chapter. I'm glad they realized that now, being 6 years into making the game, having, how many characters do they have? There are currently 31 playable survivors. There are other survivors mentioned in the lore who are not playable. What? Really? I didn't know that. Anyway, going back to where we were. Alright. So, to address this, we're completely overhauling the way perks are and adding new rewards and making completion easier than ever before. I feel like this is like a statement thing that actually doesn't tell me what they've done whatsoever. So, I don't really know if they needed this there. Like, I've just read this whole mini paragraph and it's literally told me like nothing. Like, cool, you're listening, great, okay. Alright, comparison. In the current system, you must reach level 40 on a given character to unlock all their teachable perks. This is true. In order to unlock all the new perks in every character by the time the next chapter releases, you would need to play an estimated average of 4.1 hours every day. I mean, I don't know how correct these numbers are, but let me tell you, it takes me a really long time to level up as Survivor. You know, especially if you are a good looper, or I'm not calling myself a good looper. I would never do that. But especially if you're a good looper, and let's say you loop the killer and you're in solo queue and you loop the killer for like 5 gens and your teammates ain't doing shit and they're not even on a freaking gen. Apparently opening a chest is a priority. Yes, you would be surprised. And apparently doing totems that are dull is also a priority over doing gens. So yeah, let's imagine, let's say you're in solo queue, you're doing 5 gens, and you're chasing the killer around and round and round, and you get a bit tunneled, and then you're out of the game. And let's say your other teammates got out, whatever. I mean, we don't care about if they get out or not, but if you are that kind of player, you actually only get 13k blood points. And I know this because I'm that type of player. So in solo queue, I've had loads of matches where I've even bought like the flower stuff, you know, the flowers, and I've still just gotten like 13 to 16k. So yeah, it's gonna take me like, oh fuck, it would take me like 10 of those matches to have like 160k, and 160k on the current Blood Web system is nothing. And to play 10 matches, like, you play a match for 20 minutes on average in Dead by Daylight. So that's like 4 matches in 1 hour. So 10 matches would take me like 2.5 hours already, right? If we go off this mentality. Do you see where I'm getting to? I'm basically saying I don't agree. I don't agree that it takes 4.1 hours on average every day. I legitimately think it takes a lot more, and that these numbers I'm contesting are not correct because they're not thinking about every type of player. They're just thinking on average. So I'm just giving you guys a comparison that their average is still lower than normal. Okay? So with this new system, that estimate decreases to an average of 1.1 hours, 0.1, sorry, hours each day. And that's not even factoring in blood point bonuses from events, perks, or offerings. Okay, but if their average is a little bit far off the truth, then I'm gonna say the 1 hours each day is gonna be a little bit off the truth as well. I'm gonna say it would roughly take 2 to 3 hours still. I'm just saying, that's just how I feel about it. But I don't know, I haven't tested it, so I don't know. In other words, this is the single largest reduction to grind we've ever made, cutting it by roughly 75%. Cool. Not out. Okay, yeah, Susu ain't buying it. I'm sorry. I don't know. Let's keep reading. Let's continue to see what's gonna happen. Okay, unlocking perks. The teachable rarity is no more. I don't understand. Now perks are tied directly to prestige. Prestiging a character for the first time will instantly unlock the tier 1 versions of their unique perks for all of the killers or survivors, making them immediately available for use without ever opening the blood web. So they still have prestiging. But I thought the whole point was that they're like cutting down the system, and I thought they would just replace the system. Like, everyone hates the idea of prestiging, not just because it takes a lot of blood points, but it's also like torture for a survivor to just prestige 3 times to get all the perks. You know, I don't know how I feel about this. I just don't feel super satisfied, because I understand if behavior wants to hold on to the prestiging system, right? I understand that. But realistically, I think at this point, when you have like 31 playable survivors, and you know that number is only going to go up and up and up. Each year they release about 4 to 5 survivors, maybe more, maybe less. So in 2 years' time they're going to have 10 more survivors, and you still have to prestige all those characters. It doesn't feel correct. The fact that they haven't gotten rid of prestiging just doesn't feel correct to me as an outsider looking in and a person that plays the game regularly. It just doesn't feel like the right move to keep prestiging. I understand that they wanted to keep the core elements of the game, but it just doesn't feel like a correct move, I'm afraid. Okay. Prestiging a character for the 2nd time and 3rd time will unlock the tier 2 and 3 versions of their unique perks. Alternatively, higher tier versions of their perks will appear randomly in blood webs once the 1st tier has been unlocked. That is beautiful. I love that change. That right there. Alternatively, higher tier versions of their perks will appear randomly in blood webs once the 1st tier has been unlocked is beautiful, because this means people who don't want to prestige and don't care about the bloody clothing, they don't have to. And I really like that they've done that. They've said, okay, we're going to keep prestiging in because we like that and we want to keep that, but we do understand that some people might not want to prestige, so we're going to respect that. I like that change. I think that's cool. Say you prestige the Trapper. No. Okay. This will instantly unlock tier 1 versions of Agitation, Brutal Strength, and Unnerving Presence on all the killers. Tier 2 and 3 versions of these perks will now appear randomly in the blood web. Prestiging the Trapper again will make Wait a minute. That's not what they said here. Did I like misunderstand what they said? Alternatively, higher tier versions of their perks will appear randomly in blood webs once the first tier has been unlocked. Say you prestige the Trapper, this will instantly unlock tier 1 versions of Agitation, Brutal Strength and Nerving Presence on all their killers. Tier 2 and 3 versions of these perks will now appear randomly in the blood web. Is this for all other killers or like just in the Trapper's blood web? I can't actually like mentally imagine this. I would have really loved it if they had some visuals just showing me, okay, when you do this, this happens. When you do this, this happens. You know, because like reading all this is really hard to visually understand. I'm gonna have to play PTB and try it out. I just can't wrap my head around it. Prestiging the Trapper again will make tier 2 versions of these perks immediately available, and so on. See, this part just confused me because I thought tier 2 and tier 3 versions of the perks will now appear randomly in the blood web. I guess it must be in the Trapper's blood web. Okay, maybe I misunderstood and maybe it's not an amazing change. I don't know. This way, you'll only need to earn perks once to use them on every character. The perks you've unlocked will instantly be available on any new characters as well, making them easier to pick up and play without a substantial blood point investment. No more resets. Prestiging has always been a bit of a dilemma. Do you give up everything for bragging rights? Dead by Daylight really thinks we're bragging because we've prestiged everyone, don't they? They really think we're like, hey Frank, hey, I've prestiged my character. Yeah, I know, can you believe it? And Frank's on the phone like, I ain't got time for that. Sister, why have you done that? What? You know what I mean? Like, no one cares if I've prestiged my character or not. We don't brag about this Dead by Daylight. Or do you keep... I actually can't. I can't with this update. Oh my god. Or do you keep what you have to minimize the grind? Yeah. I mean, I think this is usually what people do. I do this. I don't do that one. I don't do that one. I just prestige because I like having all the perks on my character and a bloody outfit. I just prestige because I'm a completionist. Let's be real. That's the only reason I prestige. Anyways, now that prestiging is the main way to unlock perks, we wanted to make the choice clear. Prestiging a character will no longer remove their perks, items, add-ons, or offerings. That is beautiful. That is really nice. Yeah, that's what should have happened at the beginning. That's what should have happened. Perk slots will also remain unlocked after prestiging. That's really cool. We don't have to unlock perk slots again and again and again. Cool. With no reason not to prestige, prestiging a character is no longer optional. After reaching level 50, you'll receive a special blood web with only a single node. Okay. Purchasing this node will increase your prestige level and reset your character's level to 1. Okay. Expand prestige. With prestige now being the main way to progress, it will no longer be as impressive. I'm telling you, it was never impressive. Why do they think this? This just reminds me of my friend when they're like, they're trying to look like a rapper or something, and they're like, what do you think about me with my hat on like this way? Like my cap on this way instead of this way. What do you think? And it's just like, I don't know, dude. You look fine. Looks the same. Anyway. to have your max. It only made sense to have a new way to recognize our most committed players. Am I under this category? Am I committed? I guess I do have 2.5k hours, so... So we've increased the prestige limit to 100. But I thought they wanted to decrease the amount of blood points we have to spend to prestige. I thought they wanted to get rid of that. I am so confused. But what would more prestige levels be without rewards? I mean, you bloody well might as well reward me, because you're telling me you're going to reduce prestiging, you're going to reduce the amount of blood points, then you're telling me you increased 50 to 100. So there better be rewards. Yeah, because doesn't make sense. Reaching prestige levels 4, 5 and 6 will now award that character's bloody prestige cosmetics, once again signifying those who went above and beyond. I actually don't want to prestige anymore, because they're making me feel like I'm like really, really cool. And I don't think it's really, really cool to prestige that many characters. It just means I have a lot of hours in this game. That's what that means. And like nothing else to spend my blood points on after I've leveled everyone up to 1450, you know? Now that prestiging for the first 3 times awards perk, it only made sense to move these higher. If you've already unlocked these cosmetics, don't worry, we won't be taking them away from you. You've earned it. Yeah, don't worry, Dowsy. We won't be taking your Twitch t-shirt away from you. Don't worry. We've made that mistake once. We're not gonna do it again. Not to everyone else, just to you. Just to you. Poor Dowsy, man. For the completionists, yes, that's me. Prestige levels 7, 8 and 9 will grant one of that character's unique perks as a charm. We also wanted to highlight your dedication to your favourite characters, no matter how many times you've prestiged them. Once the trial is over, your prestige level will now be shown in the space previously occupied by grades. Those who spend millions of blood points stockpiling add-ons for your favourite characters will now have a way of showcasing your hard work to the world. I don't know if I want to be ratted out like that. I feel like people are going to mock me and they're just going to be like, oh my god, you're at prestige level 10? Oh my god. I feel like I'm being ratted out. I don't want people to know this. So are grades just going? They don't want anyone to know their MMR? They want to remove that? Anyway, Shrine of Secrets. Unlike before, where the Shrine of Secrets would offer teachable perks that then needed to be found in the Bloodwebs, the Shrine will now allow you to purchase perks directly. That's amazing. Yes, this change is what needed to happen 6 years ago. Again, though to be fair, I didn't play this game 6 years ago, so I don't know if there was a Shrine of Secrets when the game came out. Purchasing a perk for the Shrine of Secrets will make the tier 1 version of it immediately available on all killers or survivors, much like Prestige. Subsequent tiers of that perk will also begin appearing in Bloodwebs. You may also purchase a perk again to increase its tier. Oh no. But why would you need to? Why don't you just unlock all tiers? I'm purchasing the perk. Like they do an amazing change and then they just have like a scammy, like a scammy rule, you know? Yes, you can purchase whatever you want, but you must purchase this 3 times if you want tier 3. Like, bruh, just give it to me. Like, I've purchased the perk. Why do I have to buy it 2 more times? It just doesn't make sense to me. Let's continue. Transitioning to the new system. with many spending hundreds, if not thousands of hours playing Dead by Daylight over the years. Poor souls. I have joined them. 2,500 hours of my life. We want to make sure that everyone is rewarded fairly. I don't feel like behavior should be deciding what fair is, because I don't feel like behavior is fair. I'm sorry. Like, as a company, they just don't make fair decisions. They just make the game killer-sided or survivor-sided. It never feels like a balanced game. Never. So, I mean, it's kind of rich coming from behavior saying that they want to make a fair game. Okay. When the system releases, we'll be automatically awarding existing players an appropriate number of prestige levels based on how many perk tiers they've unlocked. So basically, you're giving people that didn't know that the prestige system was going to change an advantage because they've been playing the game for longer than new people that come into the game. Does this mean that new people actually kind of have a disadvantage and a lower chance of ever catching up to those other people that were ahead? So how do they think this is fair? I just want to explain it to you guys. Do you guys understand? So, let me explain it to you guys. Okay, we need the close-up camera for this. Let me explain it to you guys. So behavior is saying it is going to reward existing players more prestige numbers. So those players that have been playing the game for a long time are going to be ahead of someone who starts brand new to the game. And behavior thinks this is fair. This person is at an advantage, and this person who just started playing the game today is at a disadvantage and is behind this person. And this is their ideology of fair. Cool. No doubt. Cool. Okay. If you've left all your characters at level 50 and focused on unlocking perks, your work won't be for nothing. Okay, I guess they're kind of rewarding people who couldn't be bothered to prestige, but they wanted all the perks. It's also important that you don't lose anything when the system is updated. You will keep any perks and bloody prestige cosmetics that you've already unlocked. Free before the update will receive a special prestige icon to recognize their achievements. Why? Why is there this discrimination? Why? Do people actually want this? Like, they didn't even ask the community, do you guys want this? When did they ask the community if the community wanted this? And commemorate the perks and add-ons they lost in the process. Okay, well, why don't they just give all those items back? Maybe that would have been cooler. I mean, I don't really know if they can do that. I don't know if they store that in memory or anything. They probably don't store that in the memory of the game. Once your item is gone, it's gone. But, you know, why didn't they just, like, gift people 50 flashlights, 50 toolboxes, 50 blah, 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 to just make up for their past mistakes? Wouldn't that have been really cool behavior? I think that would have been a really cool idea. And I think it would have been way cooler than having a special prestige icon. Okay. We'll be hosting a live stream soon to show the updated system in action and answer any questions you might have ahead of the PTB. I'm not joining that. Matchmaking incentives. Matchmaking has been a major focus over the past year. Yes, it's basically single-handedly the only thing that has destroyed their game. Like, not the bugs, not the bad decisions, just introducing a new system called MMR that completely changed the whole atmosphere and essence of the game. That is what finally destroyed Dead by Daylight. And we're maintaining that throughout year 7. Oh my goodness. Why don't they just give it up? Why? Why would you hold on to something that is not working? I don't care how long you've worked on it. It's not working. Make it work, or just get rid of it and say, we made a mistake, we're taking a step back, but it's actually a step forward because MMR has kind of ruined the game and changed the atmosphere of Dead by Daylight. I don't enjoy Dead by Daylight as much as I used to. I don't feel a challenge going against freaking new people that came into the game yesterday, going against me who has like 2,500 hours because I don't bother with my MMR. Do you think I go on Dead by Daylight like, oh my god, I'm gonna win this game. Boo, 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 boo. I'm gonna win this game. Boo, boo. No. I don't do that. I just go on Dead by Daylight, I loop the killer, I do some gens, and I'm out. Or I'm dead. You know? Bruh. I've just never seen this in any company. Any game company. I've never seen a game company so persistently be like, we didn't fuck up. This is our vision. We are going to go with it, even if it's shit. Even if it brings the company down and it's the demise of the company. We are going to keep MMR because we made it. Let it go. Oh my god. It's like a relationship that's not working, yeah? Your boyfriend's cheating on you, you know, he's texting all your best friends, slimy things, and you're just like, yeah, but I forgave him because he's the love of my life. Let it go. Let it go. Oh my god. Though many changes are planned to improve wait times and match quality, there are variables that we can't control through code. Bruh. Okay. So, Dead by Daylight was made by humans that made code, that added blueprints, and then code was added to the blueprints, but the blueprints were still man-made. So everything was made by man, but we can't control some variables in the code. Does it make any sense? No. No. Like, if they said we can't, like, control the server and who gets, like, hit from the server, that would make some sense, because Dead by Daylight and behavior does not control the server, and they don't control the internet, and they don't control the computers that run the server. But saying that there are variables that they can't control through code, I don't get it. Though many changes are planned to improve wait times and match quality, there are variables that we can't control through the code. What do they mean? What variables? What can you not control? You made MMR. What can you not control? Chief among them is a distribution of people playing each role. Okay, they're saying they can't control how many killers there are versus how many survivors there are. I mean, bruh, if they made the game a bit better, I feel like a lot of its player base would come back. So maybe they could control that. I don't know. Maybe they could affect that. Maybe they could try incentives to change that and balance that. But you know, I mean, they can't literally control it, but they could like do something, right? They could make incentives to change the balance, right? If there's simply not enough people queuing for one role, the matchmaker's ability to create quality matches suffers. Look. Okay, I'm gonna go into an MMR rant. Fuck it. I'm just going into a fucking MMR rant because I've had it. At this point, this is why I didn't want to do this video. This is why I didn't want to do this video. I've read and read and read, and it's just shit and shit and shit and shit. Like, it's like, oh my god, golden nugget, take it away, take it away, take it away from the person, and go like, fuck you, you little bitch, fuck you. Do you know what I mean? What the frick? Bro, your MMR was working. I understand at the highest level for like JRM, OTS, and all the other high level streamers that have super high MMR. I understand it was taking them like an hour to find matches, right? But what I don't understand is why you can't edit your matchmaking system to just select people a bit lower. So, a killer that's on JRM or OTS's level, and these are just big streamer names that I'm throwing, or Dowsy's level, right? A killer that's on their level, right? Maybe there's only like 5 killers on their level, queuing up for a match. Obviously, survivors are way more, so there's 4 people queuing that same level of a match, right? Okay, so don't give them their exact MMR. Give them a few tiers below. You cannot be telling me there is not enough high-skilled killers in this game queuing up for the game. You cannot be telling me that, I don't know, how many players play Dead by Daylight? In 27 June 2022, okay? According to the stream charts, there has been an average of nearly 47,000 players. Okay? Alright. Let's divide this, okay? Let's say 47, right? We're getting mathematical now. 47,000 players. Let's divide it by 4. You're gonna be like, why? Because we're trying to figure out, like, survivor count. Let's say all of these are survivors, yeah? Okay. So that's that many matchmaking, yeah? Because it takes 4 survivors to get 1 match. So it's 11,750 matches, right? But let's divide it by 5, because we actually need a killer as well in the match. Sorry, I did it wrong there. So that's 10,000 matches. Now, I'm not saying all these people are gonna be active and live at the same time, but you are telling me that out of the 10,000 matches, or the matchmakings that's gonna happen, there isn't enough space for you to just match JRM and OTS and the high-level MMR people with mid-tier killers? You're telling me there isn't enough killers? I mean, if there wasn't enough killers, I would genuinely be very concerned. The game is made for survivors to verse a killer. It's a matchmaking game. If you do not have enough killers and all your killer base is low skilled or low MMR'd, It just doesn't sound correct, does it? That's not how averages work. That's not how the world works. That's not how systems work. You always have variation. You always have high MMR, mid MMR, medium MMR, intermediate MMR, low MMR. You always will have that variation. Always in skill. So I don't understand why it's so difficult to just match JRM and odds and the high level people with someone who's just intermediate MMR or medium MMR. Why is it just so hard to match them with those people? That's my rant, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't understand it. If there's simply not enough people queuing for one role, the matchmaker's ability to create quality matches suffers. But why? Why would it suffer? Being an asymmetrical game, Dead by Daylight works best when there's roughly 4 survivors to each killer. If this 4-to-1 ratio deviates too far, matchmaking time and quality will start to degrade. Too many survivors will cause survivor queue times to increase, while too many survivors will cause queue times to increase. Well, too few survivors, sorry, I read that wrong, will cause killer queue times to increase. To complicate things further, this ratio varies greatly depending on your region, rating, and time of day. In some regions, we've observed an excess of survivors queuing, while in others, too few. Okay. Oftentimes, this will change over the course of the day. Okay. So how do we go about improving this? Enter matchmaking incentives. Yes, you would make an incentive for people to play killer, and you would try to resolve the issue. You would fix, I don't know, 10, 20 requests that most killer mains have, such as debuffing dead hard and other rando perks like DS and stuff like that, right? You would give people an incentive to play killer. That's what you would do. Whenever the numbers of killers to survivors differs too much from the ideal ratio, we'll offer a blood point bonus to anyone who opts to play the needed role. But this is not enough. Do they not see that this is not enough? They literally did like a 75% decrease to grind, so people don't need to earn that much blood points anymore. But now they're saying they're going to reward people that play killer. They already introduced this at like the beginning of the game. I remember in year 4 of the game, like this was introduced. And I know that's not the beginning of the game, but like, you know, I'm saying they're just reintroducing an old incentive. I mean, did it work? Is that what they're going off? I don't know. I don't really play killer, even though I know I'm going to get more blood points. I don't play killer though, because my MMR is so high on spirit, I get toxic survivors that are like 4-man. I'm not complaining right now. I'm just telling you how it is and why I don't play. I get 4 toxic survivors team that's on comms, and they're all flashlight saving and shit, and you know, I can bring whatever I want. I can bring Lightborn, I can bring whatever I want. They'll either gen rush me, or they will just, you know, loop me for 5 gens. And there's not much shit I can do about it because I'm stuck at that MMR. I win a game, and then I lose a game. And then I win a game, and then I lose a game. Because the way the MMR works is, they give you a really good team, and then they give you a really shit team when you lose, to make sure you reach that average of winning 50% of the time. And that's not really how MMR should work. I'm just letting you guys know. That's not how it should work. But, you know, that's how it works in Dead by Daylight. So, whatevers. Okay. These bonuses double as an indicator of which role currently has the fastest queue times. If you want to get in the match as soon as possible, keep an eye out for the incentives. Okay, I mean, I kind of like that, because sometimes I do want fast matches, so I kind of like that. That's fine. Matchmaking incentives are unique to you and dependent on your matchmaking ratings and region. You may see a bonus for playing Killer, while your friend sees one for playing Survivor. Okay, based upon region, cool. This is intended. Bonuses are dependent on which ones are needed to improve matchmaking at the time. For example, killers may be needed where you are, but there may be an excess of killers where your friend is playing. Okay, playing in a group can also net you a bonus if survivors are needed at the time. However, this will only apply if your group's average matchmaking rating is currently in demand. We believe these matchmaking incentives will improve both queue times and the matchmaker's ability to create quality matches. Heads up. Matchmaking incentives will be disabled if crossplay is turned off. As most players play with crossplay on, would be highly susceptible to manipulation, and switching roles would have a negligible effect on matchmaking. If you'd like to take advantage of these incentives, we strongly recommend turning on crossplay through the settings menu. Okay. Gameplay updates. Wow, we're not even like 10% through this thing and I'm already like shitting all over it. Gameplay updates. Some of the most consistent feedback we receive centers around the perk meta. A handful of perks have had a dominant usage rate, especially in higher skilled matches. Naturally, the gameplay can feel stale when you see the same perks again and again. In the past, we've addressed individual perks with various updates, but the odd meta change is not enough to shake things up. In this update, we are reworking and rebalancing 39 perks, meta included. We aim to reduce the reliance on the current meta while also providing many new options to experiment with. I mean, why would you get rid of a game's meta? Do you want your main player base to just dissolve? Why would you get rid of meta that people like? Meta means these are perks that work, and these are perks that have been tried and tested, and people like this perk combination. Why would you get rid of that? Do you want to kill your game? It's like someone says, oh, I really like this about your game. Like, let's say I made a game, and someone says to me, Susu, I really like this about your game. I love that you have this feature. And then I just go, yeah, I'm gonna nerf it. And they're like, what? Why would you do that? You know? It's kind of like that. I understand why they're doing it, to remove the unfun element, right? But they never make good changes to meta. They just never do. So I'm really, really cautious about what they've done to the perks. I really, really want to see what they've actually done, and if it's actually good or bad changes. If it's good changes, then great. In the past, we've addressed individual perks through various updates, but the odd meta change is not enough to shake things up. But like, my issue is, if they want to get rid of camping and tunneling, I'm guessing that's what they're aiming to do. They want to get rid of camping and tunneling. If they want to get rid of camping and tunneling, you don't do that through perks. You do that through in-game systems that prevent camping and tunneling. Like, DS doesn't fix camping and tunneling. Borrowed Time doesn't fix camping. DS has not fixed tunneling. You don't do that through perks. And now they've been editing this game for 6 years. And for 6 years they've been trying the same thing to solve the same problem for 6 years. And they're still doing the same solution to the same problem. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. Clearly it's not working, and it's not the perks, and it's not the meta that's the problem. You need to introduce a new game system that actually fixes systematic unfun elements in your game. God, I'm not even a game developer, and I can see this. I mean, not yet anyway. Your girl is getting there. Okay. Before we can make meaningful changes to the meta, we need to look at why these perks are so heavily used in the first place. Because they work. Because you have to. Because killers tunnel at high MMR. Because they have to. Because of meta. Because it works. While some perks are popular because of their strength, others are popular because they reduce the likelihood of an unfun situation. I mean, I really doubt Sabotage and other like fun perks are popular. Like, what is a fun perk, really? I just don't know what they mean. Therefore, we've prepared a few baseline changes to address some of the core gameplay issues. Okay. Oh god. Oh god, I'm scared. I'm seeing generator speeds. I don't think this is a good idea. I think it's already really easy to gen rush. And I just don't think it's a good idea to touch generator speeds. I think the generator speeds are great. In fact, I would up them a little bit. Personally, I've been gen rushed as a killer, and it really sucks, and it's not amazing. And, I mean, currently, let's have a look. Each survivor is performing the repair action at a speed of 0.98 charges per second. Generator time, maybe? Fully repairing a generator without the help of a toolbox, perks and other survivors takes 90 seconds. So that is 1 minute and 30 seconds for a survivor. So 1 minute and 30 seconds, yeah, for a survivor to do a gen. You see, I personally think it needs to be increased, but doing a gen is so unfun. If I had this game, like if I was a developer working on this game, I would suggest removing gens. I actually would. I know it's a main game mechanic, but it just doesn't seem to work. And I understand there's loads of perks based around gens and all that jazz, but I would just change the way gens are. I would make a puzzle. Maybe you can connect wires like you do in Among Us for the gens, just so you have something to do while you're at a gen. I mean, holding a button for 1 minute and 30 seconds, it's just not fun. It's just not fun for anyone. And I would up that time to 2 minutes per gen. I think it would actually help killers a lot. And it would lift some pressure. And I'm not even a killer main, I'm a survivor main. So I just think it would help in the long run for balancing things. But I would only do that if I was going to make a drastic change to the generators. The generators are boring. Generators are unfun. Okay? So you have to do something to engage survivors with the generator. Maybe they can solve a puzzle. Maybe you can have a crossword pop up when someone's at a generator. I don't know, something. When looking at perks most used by killers, there's a very clear trend. Any perks that helps prevent generators from being powered. Slowdown perks for short are favoured. I mean, of course. What did you expect? Corrupt Intervention, Pop Goes the Weasel, Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance, and Hex Ruin are a few notable examples, and each are amongst the most popular perks. Many players feel like generators are powered too quickly without these perks, so we know we need to look at generators before making any perk changes. Slowdown perks should be an option, but not the only option to stay competitive. First, we have increased the time it takes to power a generator to 90 seconds, up from 80 seconds. Oh, is that a new number? So it used to take 1 minute and 20 seconds. And now it takes 1 minute and 30 seconds to do a gen. I wonder, is that like extra 10 seconds on all 5 gens a lot? Like a minute overall? Is that a lot? Is that enough to release that pressure? Have they done any tests on this? Or are they just like assuming and just implementing? I'm going to assume they're assuming and just implementing. The time it takes to complete a generator hasn't been changed in a long time, but it's clear that they are being powered quicker than we'd like. I do agree with them. I do agree with this change. Although I'm not sure if the number is enough, I do agree with the change, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Killers do feel pressured a lot by gens, and they do camp and tunnel because of the pressure sometimes. By slowing them down slightly, we hope to give killers a bigger window to interrupt survivors, particularly at the beginning of a trial. Cool. Second, kicking a generator will now instantly remove 2.5% of the maximum progress. This change makes kicking generators more meaningful, even if a survivor stops it from regressing shortly after. Additionally, survivors must now decide whether they should tap a generator to prevent regression, as this allows the killer to kick it again and knock off even more process. Wait, killers can just kick gens multiple times now? Oh no, they're saying survivors must decide whether they should tap a gen to prevent regression, because then the killer will be able to kick it again and knock off even more progress. Sorry. Okay, here's what I think. I have mixed feelings about this. I think this is good, because I do feel as a killer, when I kick a gen, it doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't feel like I do shit. And you get survivors tapping the gen and, you know, making a mocking scene out of you and stuff like that. So I feel like this is good. I don't know if this is good, because a killer could just camp a gen and, you know, instead of camping survivors, a killer could just camp a gen and just keep doing that. I don't know about that, but if he's like chasing, if a killer is like chasing a survivor around a loop and it's around the last gen loop, the killer could just be looping the survivor, hitting them, leaving them, kicking the gen, and then getting off the gen, continuing the chase, and then hitting the gen again after someone's touched it. So, yeah. With these two changes, we hope to reduce the reliance on passive slowdown mechanics and promote increased interaction between killers and survivors. Yes, instead of camping survivors, we now encourage people to camp gens. General killer improvements. I'm sorry for being so negative, guys, but like, I hope you guys understand. I'm not being negative. I'm just being realistic. I think sometimes behavior like thinks, oh yeah, so good. So what could be a solution to this problem? And they don't weigh the pros against the cons and what could actually happen in a scenario. And because I feel like they don't test it properly, like if you're implementing a change, you should probably test it. Even before PTB, you should test that change. You should go on a match with your developers and just test the change you've just made. Just see how it actually works in real life. Because something in your mind can actually be completely different in the game, and there could problems could arise that you might have not even be able to humanely consider, because we're human, you know? Like, a game developer is a human. Just because I think it's a good implement or I think it's a negative implement doesn't mean it's going to be a good or negative implement for the game. I have to see what kind of scenarios exist. For example, I don't think Dead by Daylight ever made this game with the mind and intent that people would tunnel and people would camp. I don't think they even thought about that when they were making the game, which is why camping and tunneling has existed for so long, because the game was made and then those problems arised. What am I saying? Past tense? But yeah, those problems arised, but like they didn't realize they would arise. You know, it's just something that happens when you're developing a game. And I think they have to test every idea they have before they release, before they make it official. And I don't know if they do that. Because even in PTB, when things get tested, no changes are made. So like PTB is useless in a way. You might as well not have PTB. And you definitely can't like have PTB determine if your changes work or not. You should have done a test before PTB to understand that. General killer improvements. The average kill rates, how many survivors are killed each trial on average, are a little lower than we'd like. Okay. A sentiment echoed by many community members. Okay. To ensure the killer feels like an unstoppable force to be feared, we're making slight improvements to many aspects of the killer gameplay. I mean, yeah, I don't fear any killer in Dead by Daylight. I just don't. The Dredge was kind of scary though, not gonna lie. He was a cool boy. He's a cool boy. We've reduced the time it takes to break walls and pallets by 10%. That's really cool. Oh, that's a bit scary though. That's like a massive change, man. Did they actually test all these changes and see if they're compatible with each other? They are making major changes in one go. Like, all of these changes should be stuff that should have been done as small releases to get some feedback, see what the public thinks and what's going on, and then continue working on it, and then implement another new change. But they're releasing such a big changes that can completely make or break the game in a dynamic way. I just don't know if they do any testing. It kind of feels like they just sat down and was like, right, we've got to fix Dead by Daylight. But again, they're doing it wrong. Doing it in big chunks is a massive risk. I would have made like some of these major changes with small updates. Like test it for a week, see if it's working, see if you need to change anything, release a new update the next week. Just be like, guys, hey, for the next 6 months, we want to introduce some amazing changes to Dead by Daylight, but we want to work on them. We want to work with you guys. We want to help our community. We want everyone to grow, and we want everyone to like be on board with the changes and be okay with the changes. Are you guys willing for 6 weeks to work with us on these massive changes that are going to make or break the game overall and change the dynamic of the game? Now, when they release all these changes, if they have bugs, they're going to have to immediately fix the bugs. And if people are unhappy with stuff, people are just going to leave the game. They're not going to tolerate it. These are two massive changes for people to tolerate. They will just leave the game, stop playing. So I feel like this is a bit of a mistake. I feel like they should have released some of these major changes slowly, tested them, gotten feedback, edited them, re-released them, and so forth. Dead by Daylight is just missing that community interaction element of just basic testing. Just basic, like, does the community like this? Should we make some changes on it? How can we improve it? Should we remove this implemented thing that we've done? Behavior doesn't have that. Behavior just comes up with ideas, spends a lot of time scratching their head, thinking about ideas, and then, oh, we're going to implement this. Let's go. I mean, that's great, but it's just not correct for a company as big as Behavior to be doing that. Clearly, it's not worked in the past. I don't know why they think it's going to work for them now. It just kind of feels like they don't learn from their mistakes and they just keep making bigger ones every time. It really boggles my mind. It makes me wonder, like, who's at the top? Who's making all these decisions, really? Who is going like, yes, we should do this? I don't know. Okay. So what do I think about this? I mean, this is cool. Generators can be kicked 10% faster. Now 1.8 seconds was 2 seconds. So it's a very small, subtle difference that could make a massive change, bearing in mind that it's also going to be 2.5% more regression when the killer kicks that gen. While these changes may seem small, a fraction of a second can be the difference between hitting a survivor and reaching pallet. Exactly, which is why I hated that they've changed that for pallet speeds as well. I don't know if I like that. Next, we've reduced the cooldown for successful basic attacks by 10%. Now 2.7 seconds, previously 3 seconds. And reduced the duration of the survivor's speed boost upon being hit by 10%. Now 1.8 seconds was 2 seconds. Moving forward, survivors will gain slightly less distance upon being hit, making it more difficult for them to run long distance to a safe area. I really don't know how this is going to play out. I really don't know. This could drastically mean that noob players have a really unfun time where they don't know how to loop. Bless the little cuties' hearts. They're trying to get desperately to another pallet, to another loop, and they can't. Like, this is probably fine for, like, experienced players, but, like, for noob players and brand new players, this is gonna suck. They're gonna get immediately downed. They're gonna get targeted by killers. It's just gonna be a bit shit. And it's like, you know, you read it, yeah? You read it, and the differences are so slight, so minute, that you think, like, no, it's not going to affect that much, but actually it's a massive difference in the game. That 1 or 2 second is what makes or breaks a chase. It's the whole excitement of, oh, am I going to make it to the pallet? Am I going to make it to that window? It's all these interactions, which is what makes Dead by Daylight. And to, like, okay, they removed, like, the basic attacks by 10%, that's great, but why are they making survivors slower as well? I just don't understand why they're doing both of them at the same time. These are massive changes, mate, and these should not have been released all together because they're all so different from each other. Dead by Daylight's going to be a completely new game by the time this PTB is out. It's going to be brand new. And honestly, I haven't even read the perks yet. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I really don't know if I'm going to like it. Maybe I'll actually play Killer more because it seems like it's better for Killer right now, which I don't mind. But this is what I'm saying again. I don't know if Dead by Daylight ever achieves that balance, that equilibrium. Oh my god, I can't say it. Equilibrium. Okay, I can't say the word. But Dead by Daylight never achieves that balance between survivor and killers. It's always one or the other. And I think the game should be balanced. I understand it's 4 players versus 1. So it's never going to be balanced from that aspect. But I feel like it should be somewhat balanced. Finally, we've tweaked Bloodlust to increase in power quicker than before. Oh, no. I can't agree with this. In most cases, Bloodlust does not activate. Why? Though there are rare cases when it can be necessary. The long build-up often leaves the killer in a bad spot, even if they eventually get a hit. We are adjusting Bust-Up Test to activate after 15, 25, 35 seconds of chasing rather than 15, 30, 45 seconds. Okay. As the first tier of Bloodlust has not yet changed, it will not be any more prevalent in the average chase. Bearing in mind the general improvements above, we expect Bloodlust to become even more uncommon. Okay. So they think on average, noobs get chased for 15 seconds. And they think pros get chased between 15 to 25 seconds. That's what that means. Though slight, these changes affect every killer and can have ramifications on the game. We will be watching closely to ensure that nothing gets out of hand. I don't know what that means, because every time someone has reported an issue or a bug, it's taken them like at least 2 days to do something about it. So I don't really know what this means, and it just doesn't give me any faith. Camping and tunneling. On the survivor side, there is a clear preference for perks that grant a second chance. Borrowed Time, Decisive Strike, Dead Hard. And perks of that nature help a survivor avoid certain death, leading to an extreme usage rate. Okay, so a benefit of these second chance perks is how that they help prevent unfun situations, namely being camped or tunneled out of the game, repeatedly being targeted after being unhooked. I mean, I would beg to differ. I usually bring Decisive to just not get tunneled, but it doesn't really prevent me from being tunneled. It just buys me time in a chase. Let's be honest. After I've been unhooked. That's all it does. It doesn't actually prevent me from being tunneled. And, you know, Dead Hard. Dead Hard is nothing about tunneling and camping. I mean, I have used Dead Hard a lot in situations that killers have camped. But otherwise, Dead Hard just saves my ass. You know, it's... Does it make it fun? It's cheesy. It's cheesy. I like Dead Hard because it's cheesy. Sometimes it saves your ass. Sometimes it makes you dead hard into a tree or rock. It's fun. Borrowed Time. Borrowed Time is great. But if the person you're unhooking sucks, no Borrowed Time is going to save them. They're going to run into a dead zone, or they're not going to know where the door is, and they're not going to run to it, and blah, 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 and they're going to get downed again. So, I don't really know. I'm assuming that people don't bring these perks based on what the developers think people bring these perks for. It would have been cool to see Behavior release a survey saying, hey guys, why do you bring Borrowed Time? What makes you bring Decisive Strike? What makes you bring Dead Hard into the game? It would have been cool to see some sort of forum or, like, you know, survey that actually let them know this is why your community picks these perks. Right now they're just guessing, and guessing can always be wrong. Okay. In order to incentivize a meaningful change to the meta, it was clear that we needed to address these controversial tactics. Second chance perks should be nice to have, not essential to ensuring enjoyable gameplay. I agree with this. But again, that's not why I bring Dead Hard. I literally bring Dead Hard because I suck at the game and I want to save my ass. And I bring Decisive when I want a little bit more time in a chase. That's it. I don't really bring them because of camping and tunneling. I bring Borrowed Time for other people because I know other people need it when I unhook them. In case they get targeted or I unhook them in a bad situation. Moving forward, survivors will receive a 5-second endurance effect after being unhooked. This gives the unhooked survivor an opportunity to reach a nearby window or pallet, or for another survivor to position themselves for a protection hit. Wow! So 5 seconds. I mean, how long is Borrowed Time right now though? Any damage taken that will put the survivor in a dying state will trigger the deep wound side effects, after which the survivor has 20 seconds to mend themselves. Okay, but how long does Borrowed Time last for? Okay, so we have to find the correct version because it's been updated a few times. So 10 seconds. And now they are saying we will get a 5-second endurance effect. I like that this is just something that will happen. I always felt like Borrowed Time should have been something that existed in the game, not as a perk. I thought this like 2 years ago. When I started playing Dead by Daylight, I thought of this idea 2 years ago. I don't know why it's taken them so long to implement this, but it's definitely a positive and it's definitely a great thing. 5 seconds? I don't know. I think it should be exactly the same as Borrowed Time, and I think perhaps Borrowed Time should just be removed as a perk and it should just be the general, because you have to do something to change camping and tunneling, which is unfun in the game. This gives the unhooked survivor an opportunity to reach a nearby window or pallet, or for another survivor to position themselves for a protection hit. Yeah, it does. But I don't know if it's enough. The killer could literally just target them and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. Whereas when it's 10 seconds, the killer's always like a bit hesitant. Like, oh, have they run out of Borrowed Time? Have they run out of Borrowed Time? What's going on? What? You know? Additionally, the unhooked survivor will receive a 7% haste effect for 5 seconds. Okay. This will make them harder to catch and encourage shifters to shift focus to the unhooking survivor. That is great. That's great. That sounds good. Okay. Both effects will be cancelled prematurely if the unhooked survivor performs what we now call a conspicuous action. What does that mean? These are interactions, other than being chased, that would improve your chances of survival. This includes repairing a generator, healing yourself or others, cleansing or blessing a totem, sabotaging a hook, unhooking others, opening an exit gate. Why? Why? What the fuck? Why do you give me a golden nugget and then snatch it away? Why? Why can I just not have my golden nugget? It's like you go up to a child, you give them a chocolate bar, and then you just like yoink it out of their hand right as they're about to take a bite of the chocolate bar. It's mean. It's unnecessary. You haven't tested this shit. How do you know this is good? I think the conspicuous action, or whatever you call it, I think this was necessary for DS because a lot of people were being cheeky little dicks and they were going in closets and, you know, all kind of stuff to force DS on killers. So I think it was very needed for DS. For borrowed time, it's just not needed. If you're gonna remove borrowed time and add this endurance thing, you don't need to have conspicuous action or whatever. Because like 5 seconds... In 5 seconds, no one's gonna hop on a gen. In 5 seconds, someone could heal someone. They could heal someone. That's fair. I don't think in 5 seconds you're gonna run to bless and get to a totem. And you could accidentally sabotage a hook when you're trying to heal someone. That could happen. Opening an exit gate. I mean, it takes me 10 seconds to run anywhere. At least 20 seconds to run anywhere, let alone getting to an exit gate. This is just irrelevant and useless. It's really not going to affect people at all. So why have it as a clause in there? It just doesn't make sense to me. I just can't see someone immediately unhooked. The killer is there chasing them and they're like, I'm going to hop on a gen. Like, it's just not going to happen. Let's say the killer is not camping the hook, the killer is nowhere near the hook, and they get unhooked, and they are being healed, and their borrowed time goes away because they healed the other person because they're a kind survivor like that, even though they've just been unhooked, and then the killer comes around the corner, smacks them, and rehooks them. It's like you're trying to resolve an issue and you just can't comprehend how you are mucking up the issue and not resolving the issue by making a conspicuous action. Is it really tricky to follow that a killer could just camp from far away and wait out the 5 seconds or wait for the survivor who just got unhooked to do one of these actions and then down them? Doesn't that like defeat the whole point of this amazing change you've just made? Icing on the cake. With these base changes, we hope survivors can switch up their perk loadouts without fear that camping in tunnel will cut their next match short. Yeah, I just have to remember to not accidentally sabotage a hook or heal myself or others for 5 whole seconds. Oh yes. Meta perk changes. For this update, perk changes fall into one of the two categories. Meta perks that are used too often and... What's happened? Why have I gone yellow again? And non-meta perks that serve a similar purpose but aren't used as much. We understand that many of you have grown attached to your favourite perks and loadouts. Unfortunately, shaking up the meta inevitably leads to a few changes. Rest assured that our goal is to provide alternatives that align with your preferred playstyle while widening the scope to include more variable perk options. I mean, my literal main perk option is just dead hard. Just don't touch my dead hard and I'm good. It's also important to note that not every meta perk is equal and each was considered on a case-by-case basis. So what are Dead by Daylight's meta perks? By referencing both community feedback and internal data, we can see that some perks stand above the rest. For killers, Barbecue Chilli, Hex Ruin, Pop Goes the Weasel, Corrupt Intervention, Tinkerer, Hex No One Escapes Death, and Scourge Hook Pain Resonance. For survivors, Dead Hard, Borrowed Time, Decisive Strike, Iron Will, Self-Care, and Spine Chill. We'd like to share these graphs showcasing the 10 most frequently used perks for both roles. These charts alone do not explain why the meta exists. For that, we turn to the community feedback, but hope they provide context for how heavily these perks are used. Finally, after like, I don't know, at this point like 6 pages, finally, they've like talked about feedback from the community and charts that they've like tested things and gotten results from. These lines look super mega funny. What are these, by the way? Dead hard. This chart looks like what dead hard is in real life. Borrowed time is second. Self-care. What's this? Decisive Strike. What's this yellow? Spine Chill, Iron Will. Oh, it's great that they're very similar colors that I can't tell the difference between. And I'm not even like colorblind and I can't tell the difference between the two colors. Good one, Dead by Daylight. Good one. Yes. Colorblind friendly, I guess. Kindred, Windows of Opportunity. Okay. Okay. Sprint Burst and Unbreakable are the lowest. Alright. What's that other graph? What is this guy? Barbecue and Chilli. What the frick is this guy? Locked. What the frick is locked? What's locked? Is that a perk? I don't even know what locked is. Anyways, killer meta perks, Barbecue and Chilli. Current effect. This is going to get spicy. No pun intended. Current effect. Upon unhooking a survivor, see the auras of distant survivors for a short duration. Gain a stacking blood point bonus for each unique survivor hooked. This perk is incredibly popular, not because it's particularly powerful, but because of the huge amount of blood points it provides. Interestingly, I only bring Barbecue and Chilli because I cannot find survivors and I suck as a killer. Yeah. The blood points help. Choosing to go in a match without it massively slows your progression. We do not want blood points to be the driving factor behind perk choices, so we will be removing the blood point bonus. While we understand this change may seem shocking, please keep in mind this update reduces the grind about 75% with matchmaking incentives, providing an initial avenue for blood points. We believe this is a necessary step in making other aura reading perks more appealing, as blood point gain will no longer be the deciding factor. I think this is a good idea because I think the blood points was appealing to a lot of people. I think people will still bring Barbecue and Chilli, and I just think it's a good idea. I think it's a good change. Hex Ruin. Current effect. Generators regress automatically at an increased rate whenever a survivor is not working on them, as long as the associated Hex totem is still standing. A massive part of Hex Ruin's appeal is not having to stop and kick generators, as well as the ability to passively regress them from a distance. These aspects make Ruin a unique slowdown perk, so we are not looking to change them. Okay. To bring Hex Ruin in line with other perks, we are reducing the regression speed to 50, 75, 100 from 100, 150 to 100. This will reduce its power without destroying its primary appeal. After a survivor is killed, Hex Ruin will automatically deactivate. Look. The appeal will be there, but Hex Ruin just won't do its job. You're going from 100 to 50. That's like 50% less. And 200 to 100, that's 50% less. And 150 to 75, that's 50% less. You are making Ruin ruined. Ruin now sucks. So why would I bring this perk anymore? I just wouldn't. Yeah, I don't have to kick gens, but no, that's actually not why I bring Ruin. I bring Ruin so when I push survivors off a gen, it does something. Now it kind of doesn't do much. I don't know if that was a good call. I really don't know. Pop Goes the Weasel. Current effect. After hooking a survivor, the next generator you kick within time limit instantly loses 25% of its total progress. Pop Goes the Weasel gives killers a controlled wave to remove significant progress from a generator of their choosing. Given that kicking a generator now removes 2.5% of its progress by default, we decided to tone down some numbers to compensate. This perk will now remove 20% of the generator's current, not total, progress. I'm trying to understand the mathematical difference here, so just give me a second. I need to... Okay. So when you kick it, it instantly loses 25% of its total progress. So if the gen was at 99, it's going to lose 25%, which would bring it down to like 65, right? But now it's saying this perk will now remove 20% of the generator's current, not total progress. Ooh, I see what that does. I see what that does. Okay, let's say the gen was at 100 and you kick it and it loses 25% of its total progress, right? That means 75% of the gen will still remain. However, with the new change, let's say instead of 20 it was still 25, what would happen would be the current progress will have 20% of it removed. So in the past, you could have worked on a gen for like, I don't know, 30 seconds and the killer could have come and completely destroyed that progress with like how Pop Goes the Weasel is now. The killer could have made that gen 0. But now the killer will not be able to make that gen 0 because it will only remove 20% of that current amount. So if you've worked on a gen for 30 seconds and you have made 25% progress on that gen, 20% of 25 is like 5, I think. 10% would be 2.5. So yeah, it's 5. So it will only remove 5 of that 25% regression. I don't know if this is all making sense, but basically it won't go down to 0 anymore. Whereas in the past, if a killer came and had Pop Goes the Weasel and kicked the 25% gen, the gen would have gone down to 0. But now, if the killer comes and does that, the gen will go down to 20 and not 0. That's pretty cool. But I think it just makes Pop Goes the Weasel lose its attractiveness. Like, it just doesn't seem attractive anymore to do for a killer. And they're making 2 major changes to, like, gen-based perks. Why are they doing this? They've already fucked over Ruin. And now they're destroying Pop Goes the Weasel too. This will make Pop Goes the Weasel very effective against generators that are nearly done, but weaker against those with a small amount of progress. Yeah, I can see that. I just don't know if that's a positive for the perk. I'm not really a killer main, but it doesn't really sound like that's a positive for the perk. Corrupt Intervention. Current effect. At the start of the match, the 3 furthest generators are blocked for a while. Okay, this perk makes the beginning of a match more manageable, forcing survivors to extend deeper into the map before repairing a generator. We aren't looking to change this aspect. Great. What are you looking to change? Moving forward, the perk will deactivate once the survivor enters the dying state. Why? We believe this change will keep Corrupt Intervention effective in helping the killer build early game pressure while providing a limit to its power. The killer could literally go and down an AFK survivor within 2 seconds of finding them, and that's going to cock over the killer in the game. I just think these people don't play Dead by Daylight. I really do. These people are developing a game that they don't play. They don't understand. They just don't know their game. And they're implementing changes going like, yeah, it'll work. It's kind of like if you were an engineer and you need to make a bridge and you don't do the correct calculations and you just go, yeah, it looks like a curve, so I think the bridge will stand. You can't just do that. Your bridge might collapse in real life. You have to do the correct calculations. You have to play your game to understand your game and make changes that suit your game. Thinking hard about it is great, but if you do not test your game, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Okay, Tinkerer. Oh God, I don't know what else is going to slap me in the face now. Current effect. When a generator reached 70% progress, you will receive a loud noise notification and become undetectable for a short duration. I really liked Tinkerer. I'm saying liked because I don't know what they're going to do to it. Tinkerer is a popular choice for the information it provides. Being able to prevent a generator from being powered is a game changer, particularly on killers with high mobility. It can, however, become a little oppressive when paired with certain regression perks. Therefore, Tinkerer can now only activate once per generator. But with the base charges increased to 90, killers will have extra time to approach. So the killer gets an extra 10 seconds to approach a gen. Because the gens used to be 1 minute 20 seconds and now they're 1 minute 30 seconds. The killer has an extra 10 seconds to make his way from all the other side of the map. And if Tinkerer has activated, let's say a scenario, okay? It's scenario time with Susu. Let's say 3 gens are done. There are 2 gens left. Survivors are working on separate gens. Tinkerer goes off for the 4th gen. So you manage to go and save that gen. But the other gen, Tinkerer won't go off for the 5th gen. So those survivors will get away with doing that 5th gen. And then you'll have 1 gen left. And then those 2 survivors can either come on this gen that's almost done, or they can go to a different gen and complete that. No, it's actually not saying that. It's saying Tinkerer can now only activate once per generator. So if you come and you stop a generator from being like 100% because Tinkerer went off, you're never gonna get information that that gen is 100% almost again because of this change. But if it's like the last gen, you would want that info. I guess you would know it's the last gen, but you would still want that info. Oh my god, it just makes it so shit. Oh my days. I misunderstood totally what it was. It's way worse than what I thought it was. Alright guys, here we are, day 2 of the madness, and we're going to continue going through the patch notes. Yeah, I really don't hope that they make Noed for like the whole game or something. I hope it's not a drastic change. Let's see. Current effect. When the exit gates are powered, all survivors become exposed as long as the associated hex totem is standing. Yeah, so currently Noed is at the end of the game. This perk makes for a very effective comeback tool, though it falls out of favour in high skill games. We like the way Noed encourages survivors to preemptively cleanse totems, so we are not looking to weaken its direct strength. Okay. Instead, survivors will now see the hex totem's aura within 4 meters upon activation. This range increases to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. We believe this change will keep Noed a strong choice for endgame builds, while encouraging survivors to find a totem and attempt that last second save. Okay, so Noed activates when the exit gates are ready to be opened. Yes? Yes. When the last gen is done, Noed activates. Now, when the last gen is done and Noed is activated, if a survivor is within the radius, it's 4 meters. If the survivor is within 4 meters of this said hex totem, the survivor will see the hex's aura. And this range will increase to 24 meters over the course of 30 seconds. I mean, average maps on Dead by Daylight are like 30 meters, right? "24 meters is like..." This is just gonna make it that Noed is gonna be really easy to find. And the whole point of Noed was that it's difficult to find. So I don't know how this will work out. I think it's a great improvement from a survivor perspective. I think it's great. Like, as a survivor, I love this. As a killer, not so much. Because the whole point of me bringing Noed is for me to get an off-chance win in the game that I normally wouldn't get because I'm probably a shit player, let's be honest. And that's why I'm bringing Noed. Because Noed's gonna have my back. And with this, Noed might be useless because the survivors might instantly find it. If there's 4 survivors searching for Noed, they're gonna find it if they're all in different locations. They're gonna eventually run into the Noed. So yeah, this definitely weakens Noed, but I do think it is a step in the right direction because the way Noed is, at the moment, it's really difficult to find Noed. I mean, me and my friends have done it a couple of times, but it is really difficult to find Noed. So I think it's a good thing for survivors. I don't necessarily know how much I would use Noed after this as a killer. I don't know. You'd have to see how it plays out. Okay, Pain Resonance. Current effect. Upon hooking a survivor on a Scourge hook, the generator with the most progress explodes, notifying the killer, and instantly loses a large chunk of progress. The most recent addition to the meta, Pain Resonance, allows the killer to remove a sizable chunk from the most progressed generator by simply hooking a survivor. A loud nose notification also allows the killer to disrupt the survivors before they can continue repairing. A jack of all trades of sorts, granting both a powerful regression effect and crucial information. With that in mind, we are removing the loud noise notification. Instead of exploding, the affected generator will now spark upon losing progress, and survivors will no longer scream. We believe this will ensure Pain Resonance remains a strong regression perk while limiting its informational aspect. I don't know why they chose to do this. I mean, Pain Resonance sounds fine the way it was. This is quite survivor-sided. Yeah, I just feel like this is unnecessary for them to do this. It just feels unnecessary. I mean, it still does its job. As a killer, I would still bring Pain Resonance because it still does its job. But I would be a little bit pissed off because it no longer gives me that extra information that would have been nice, such as Tinkerer. Like, it just would have been nice, you know? Anyway, let's move on to the Survivor meta perks. Now, you all know, your girl is a Survivor main, okay? You all know this. So, we're about to dive, like, head-on dive into the Survivor territory, and oh boy, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I really don't know how I'm gonna react, how I'm gonna feel, and we're about to find out. So let's go, let's go. Okay. Dead Hard. Current effect. When activated, become immune to damage and dash a short distance. Yes, the way Dead Hard is amazing. I love Dead Hard. It's like my favorite perk. I realize it's really cheap and it's really scummy, and from a killer perspective, when 4 survivors have Dead Hard on and they're good loopers, it sucks. It sucks. But I love it because I suck as a survivor. So it makes me happy. It makes the game fun for me. Okay? Like, what makes the game fun for you? Dead Hard. Yeah. Dead Hard is by far the most used perk by survivors. I wonder why. And it's easy to see why. In the right hands, it acts like a third health state, allowing the survivor to escape a situation where they would otherwise go down. Exactly. There are 2 main ways Dead Hard is used, to dodge a hit and for distance. I use Dead Hard for both of them. Yes, sometimes I can't make it to window, I can't make it to a pallet, and then I do. Dead Hard. Magic. In latter case, there's not much a killer can do. Therefore, Dead Hard will now provide the endurance effect for 1 second when activated. If you time it right, you'll prevent the hit and gain a movement speed boost. This will remove Dead Harding for distance and make it solely used to dodge hits, which killers can anticipate and even bait accordingly. Oh, I understand. So it's saying, if you time Dead Hard right and the killer hits you when you have that 1 second endurance, it will then boost you forward with a movement speed. This is nice. This is kind of rewarding you for getting hit. This is really bad if the killer doesn't hit you. It's actually really bad if the killer just waits. And like, why would a killer hit you? The moment he hits you, or she hits you, you literally get like sprint burst. So the killer doesn't want to hit you. I don't know how this is going to play out. It's either going to be bad, or it's either going to be good. It depends. I really have to see this live in the PTB because I don't know how it's going to play out and I don't know how it will be. Alright, Decisive Strike. Current effect. After being unhooked, Decisive Strike activates for a long duration. When picked up, hit a special skill check to instantly wiggle free. Deactivates when used or when performing various actions. One of Decisive Strike's main appeals is its efficiency at preventing tunneling. I literally swear no one uses it for tunneling. Like, I think like I used Decisive Strike for tunneling when I was new to the game, but I mean, I became used to the game very quickly, and like at this point, people literally just bring it in case they get tunneled, but not specifically for tunneling. Like, I use it whenever I can because sometimes you don't get another chance. Sometimes killers don't tunnel you, you know, like. So, I don't know. For the most part, we find the perk to be healthy for the game and easily avoidable for killers who choose not to tunnel an unhooked survivor. That said, at the end of the match, there's often nothing the killer can do to prevent a survivor with Decisive Strike from escaping. Moving forward, Decisive Strike will now deactivate once the exit gates are powered. In addition, the stun duration has been reduced from 5 seconds to 3. We'll also be simplifying the description of the perk. Decisive Strike will now be cancelled by conspicuous actions. We're back to this hell of a word. I'm actually going to...
Conspicuous.
Any conspicuous actions. And you're not going to get DS. No more. Alright, honestly, I thought it was amazing for them to remove DS after the exit gates are activated. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but what can happen with this, what can happen is a killer can open an exit gate, go and hit someone with NOED, hook them, have like the gate closing perk, Blood Warden, and you know, this just removes DS so the killer can tunnel the hell out of that person that they've just hooked. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't mind it for now. I don't find it super annoying that they've done this. I think this is totally fine. I think it is unfair to use DS on a killer that literally is not going to be able to get you anyway. The stun duration being changed, I mean, that just feels unnecessary, but again, it's fine. I don't really mind it. I think it's fine. Borrowed time. Current effect. Survivors you unhook gain the endurance effect for a short duration, allowing them to ignore a hit that would otherwise put them into a dying state. Much like Decisive Strike, this perk gets much of its popularity by granting counterplay against a camping killer. Considering a lighter version of Borrowed Time's effect has been added to the Survivor's base kit, we need to update the perk accordingly. Yeah, so now they have a base kit endurance effect that happens after anyone is unhooked. And if anyone performs a conspicuous action, then their endurance effect is cancelled out. Borrowed Time will now extend the duration of the endurance effect of unhooked survivors by 6, 8, 10 seconds and increase the movement speed bonus duration by 10 seconds for any survivor you unhook. These effects will be cancelled if the unhooked survivor performs a conspicuous action. While the overall duration with borrow time is longer than before, we expect that having a lighter version in the base kit will cause the usage rates to drop. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, I would still bring borrow time. I think it's just cool. But, you know, I don't feel like I need to have it as perk slot anymore because they have the endurance thing. And I like that because I feel like people won't have a go at me, you know, if I don't bring BT anymore. Whereas in the past, I feel like people could have a go at me because basically I'm not bringing BT and I'm unsafely unhooking them. So that's nice, I guess. I don't really mind this. I just don't understand why they didn't lift the endurance to be the same as borrowed time and then just remove borrowed time from the game. They could have literally done that. But I guess they just didn't want to remove borrowed time. I don't know. Maybe that's like a lot more work, so that's fair. Iron Will, current effect, makes your grunts of pain silent. This perk allows skilled players to mind game more effectively in many areas by silencing grunts of pain. The amount of times I would have been able to flashlight save people if I had brought Iron Will in my perk slot instead of BT to save those bitches. Yeah, like, you know, would have saved me a lot of pain. To address its high usage rates, we are lowering the grunts of pain reduction to 25, 50%, 75%. Iron Will is no longer active when exhausted, though it will not cause exhaustion itself. I'm just thinking, like, what's the actual point of this? What's the actual point? Like, Iron Will is no longer active when exhausted. Like, why? Like, people will use Dead Hard and, like, loads of other perks. Why is it no longer active when exhausted? Why am I getting punished for using an exhaustion perk? That's kind of what I don't understand about this. And, like, a lot of exhaustion perks are linked to being hit, right? Which is when you would need Iron Will. You need Iron Will when you've been injured. You don't need it before. Dead Hard works with being injured. The Jonas perk that helps give you a little bit of an extra sprint burst after you've been hit. That works with being hit. You know, sprint burst is really the only one that doesn't work with being hit. But, like, imagine you activated sprint burst at the beginning of your chase. Like, you got chased off a gen and sprint burst activated. Like, what other times would I need Iron Will? When do I need Iron Will? I need it when I'm injured so the killer can't hear me. Iron Will literally has just become, like, a hiding perk now. It's only really useful when you're hiding, you know? It's not really useful in any other situations anymore. So, yeah. Alright, self-care. I mean, I'm not angry with it. I don't use Iron Will anyway. Because I am a pro looper. Yeah, I don't use Iron Will because I'm stupid. But, you know, cool, whatever, I guess. Self-care. Right. Yeah, I mean, perks I use from this lot is... Oh! Oh! What? Okay. Literally Dead Hard I use. Decisive Strike very, very rarely. Borrow Time I use. So these two perks that I use, I don't mind the changes that have happened to them. I think the change for Decisive Strike is good. But again, I don't know how that's going to play out. The change for Iron Will, like, it's fine. I don't understand why it's not active when exhausted. I guess because they're trying to, like, cancel out it being harder for killers to find survivors when they are injured and in a chase. But like, if a killer can't track you while you're injured from your blood trail pools, then, you know, that killer is just a noob. And they're just gonna have to learn to get good at the game. You know, I guess doing this might help them. But yeah, if you're that new to the game, I mean, when I was that new, even though survivors were grunting all around me, I still couldn't find them because I'm that new to the game. So I really don't know how effective this is going to be the way that they want it to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's move on. Self-care. Current effect unlocks the ability to heal yourself without a medkit at 50% speed. Boy, oh boy. Self-care is like the slowest thing on earth, dude. I never bring this perk. I see JRM bring it like all the time, but to be fair, JRM solo queues a lot, and it is painful when you need to heal and go and save people and none of your teammates are healing you. So I don't blame JRM for bringing self-care, but if I'm gonna bring self-care, I would bring like Botany Knowledge, because, I mean, a lot of people didn't know this, but the flower perk, Claudette's flower perk, Botany Knowledge, it actually really helps speed up healing. And I feel like self-care is so slow on its own. You need it. I feel like you need the Botany Knowledge. Though self-care has a divisive reputation among the community. Yes, it's divisive because, you know, a lot of people are judgmental about people healing themselves in a corner. And rightfully so. Like, what are you doing for your team? You could be on a gen. By the time you finish healing, you could have done 25%, maybe 50% of a gen. So yeah, a lot of people are judgmental about that decision. We were surprised to find that its usage in perks is the highest skill matches. Why would you be surprised? Why would you be surprised? At high skill level, people don't even need to heal. They only like use it because sometimes they want to heal, super aware of how the game works. So no one has to hop on a gen with their buddy. It's okay if people are on a gen by themselves. High MMR people can do a gen by themselves. They don't need to have a friend on a gen with them. They're not gonna die if they don't have their friend on a gen with them. Okay, so high MMR people are all on gens by themselves. They usually stay injured the whole match, even though they bring self-care. Like, the only person I've seen really use self-care is JRM. And that's literally because dude is like trying to flashlight save every 5 seconds. Like, he needs to be quiet in the game to do those flashlight saves and hide well. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, I don't know why they were surprised by this. It's so slow. At low MMR level, you wouldn't really bring self-care unless you're like an Urban Evasion Nia or like a Bush Claudette. And let's be honest, like, those people bring self-care, but they die anyway. They don't really need it. You know, self-care is not going to save them. That they need some milk. Alright. Having a consistent and reliable way to heal at will is a powerful tool in the right hands. Oh, also, high MMR people are usually solo queuers, because when you queue up with friends, the likelihood of you wanting to save your friend or escape with your teammates is higher. So you feel this need to protect people and be there for your buddies because they're your friend. You're more inclined to make stupid and rash decisions in the game that will essentially end up getting you killed. Like, I might not go back at last hook for a rando, but if my friend is in the game, I would definitely go back for that last unhook, even though the exit gates are open and the killer might have no ed, because that's my friend. I want to go and save them. And people who work in teams like that, I'm not talking about comp teams. Comp teams are a different breed. They will leave anyone and everyone to get an escape and a win. I'm not talking about comp team players, but in general, people that play together, they want to save their friend. So it's natural that they end up dying more and having a lower MMR. People who are going to have a higher MMR are probably going to be solo queue people because they're going to be a bit more selfish. They're not going to have to go back for extra saves, and they're going to be more focused on escaping. And that's why it makes sense that people that use self-care are also high MMR people, because they're solo queue mindseted people. They go into matches by themselves, so they rely on themselves. It's that attitude that you would expect to see people like that to bring self-care. On top of that, self-care increases the efficiency of medkits, allowing survivors to squeeze additional heals out of them. Oh, yeah, it does do that, yeah. Yeah, you could bring a medkit and a self-care, I get, yeah. To reduce its strength. Strength. Okay. To reduce its strength, self-care's heal speed will be lowered to 25, 30 and 35%, and the item efficiency bonus semi-removed in time. Bruh. Okay, self-care is by no means a strong perk. Self-care is like one of the lowest perks I would rate as strong. To make self-care strong, you need a medkit. To make self-care strong, you need Botany Knowledge. To make self-care somewhat strong, you need other perks and other items. How is self-care strong? You are literally saying F you to high MMR people. Like, what percentage of your game is high MMR? Self-care is literally not being used by low MMR people. It's literally not affecting your game whatsoever. I don't know. Like, I think like maybe like 5-10% of Dead by Daylight's player base is high MMR. And when I mean high, I mean like super high. I'm talking high. Okay? So they're bothered by this perk that is like helping like, I don't know, super high MMR people that can loop killers for like 5-10 gens. They're bothered by that. Bruh. I would say the concern here is misplaced. I don't really recall Ots ever complaining about self-care. Like, self-Claire? No one cares about Claire. No one cares about her. No one is bothered about self-Claire, girl. And, yeah, Dead by Daylight just be like, don't worry. Don't worry. We've nerfed self-care. I got your back. I got your back, high MMR killers. Peace out from Dead by Daylight. What the frick, bruh? Okay, let's just move on so I can keep my sanity. Even though right now I feel like I'm in Thanatophobia and my sanity level is like -10. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Alright, Spine Chill. Current effect. Activates when the killer is nearby and looking in your direction. Increases action speeds and the chance for skill checks. Spine Chill is another one of the perks that I just don't use. The only time I use Spine Chill is when I want to do a vault speed build. That is the only time I use Spine Chill, for that haste effect. All other times, Like, I don't really care if the killer is coming over. I'm gonna loop them. They're gonna hit me. Whatever. You know, it is what it is. Sometimes you want a little bit of spice. You know? Spice is the variety of life. Okay? You heard it from me. It's Silver's quote, but you heard it from me. This perk excels at alerting survivors when a killer is approaching, and in high skill lobbies, the vault speed increase becomes the primary draw. Of course. See? See? I am a high skilled lobby person, even though I've never actually been in a high skill lobby. Yeah. There are a few aspects of this perk we would like to clean up. Spine Shield will now only activate if the killer has a clear line of sight to the survivor. I'm just going to reread that sentence because this is what I've understood from the sentence. Spine Chill will now only activate if a killer has clear line of sight to the survivor. So this is my control for my light, but this is a survivor, okay? And this guy is my other controller for my other light, but this guy is now a killer, okay? And like, this is the killer, this is the survivor, yeah? And my head is going to be an object, okay? Right now, guess what object my head is right now. No, you're very wrong. No, it's not that. No. My object is not my mum, okay? Stop it. Okay, my object is now a generator, okay? And this is still a... Did I say this was a killer? Did I say this was a killer? This is still a killer. This is still a survivor, okay? And now, here's a gen. So now, here's the killer. The killer can see the survivor. But is Spine Chill gonna activate? I don't know. Like, where are they following this line from? Is this direct line from the killer's eye line of sight? Or like, let's say my head is a different object now. My head is the wall. Okay. This is the wall. This is the killer. This is the fiber. I think I swapped those around now. Okay. The killer can see the survivor through the wall because the killer is a scratched mirror Myers. But the survivor cannot see the killer. So is Spine Chill not gonna activate now? Like, I just don't understand. Like where does the killer have to be? Okay, this is the killer, yeah? And this is the survivor. The killer is coming into the loop. And like, throughout this duration, the killer is going around a wall. Spine Chill's not activating, I'm still on a gen. Spine Chill's not activating, I'm still on gen. Spine Chill's not activating, I'm still on gen. Killer is at the entrance. Whoa, Spine Chill. I mean, the killer can just rush over here and smack me. What is the point of Spine Chill? If I can see the killer, what is the point of Spine Chill? Just please explain it to me. Behavior, contact me. What is the point of Spine Chill if I can see the killer? Is the killer behind me? What is the point of it? I just don't understand. This will remove the awkward counterplay where the killer must look away to ensure a stealthy approach. I mean, dude, who does that? Who does that? I genuinely want to know who does this. Killers? If you're a killer and you are watching this video, please comment down below. Do you actually do this so Spine Chill doesn't activate? Do you actually go, I hear a gen. Hold on a minute. Oh, you didn't see me coming, did you? Oh, I outplayed your spine chill, bruh. Who does that? Who's doing this? Come on now, Dead by Daylight, come on. Next, we'll be adding a short. 0.5 seconds lingering effect to spine chill. What does that mean? This will prevent the perk icon from flickering when the killer looks around and makes the action speed boosts more consistent. Okay. Finally, we'll be removing the vault speed bonus entirely, as it does not suit the perk's nature. I want a DC. Okay, let's just go to non-meta perk changes. With so many meta perks being changed, yes, we wanted to make sure that everyone had something new to look forward to. Yes. We wanted to make sure that not only meta perk playing survivors felt pain, we wanted everyone to feel pain equally. You're welcome, XOXO behavior. Yeah. What the actual fuck? Okay. Let's read. I'm calm. Killer perk buffs. Okay. Overcharge. Along with its current effects, Overcharge will cause the kicked generator's regression speed to grow from 100 to 400 over the course of 30 seconds. Survivors will want to stop this generator from regressing as soon as possible. Okay, that's cool. Eruption. Released with fairly safe numbers, but upon reflection, we're comfortable with increasing them. We have upped the generator's regression penalty 10% and the duration of the incapacitated effect to 15, 25 seconds. Yeah, I mean, these two perks can become the new meta at this point because they've destroyed all other meta gen perks. So now we can just have these two perks as the new meta. That's what they actually meant to say. Knockout. Those of you who like to leave survivors on the ground can have a little bit more peace of mind. In addition to its current effect, Knockout will cause dying survivors to crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds and reduce their recovery speed by 25%. I have actually never used Knockout as a perk on Killer, and I don't even know what Knockout is from. Is Knockout like specific to a killer? Or is Knockout just like a generic killer perk that you get? It's unique. Oh, Knockout is the cannibal. Right. It's the Booba perk. Okay. Dying survivors to crawl 50% slower for 15 seconds and reduce their recovery speed by 25%. Wow, Knockout is nice. Maybe I should start using Knockout. Coulrophobia. I lied. I have used Knockout because I've played Bubba like 2 times or something to get the achievement of like killing everyone with Bubba. What's that called again? Yes, words. They are difficult. Hashtag English. Anyways, Coulrophobia. To make healing in the killer's terror radius even more unappealing, Coulrophobia will now increase the speed of skill checks by 50% on top of its current effect. This sucks. Wow, this is so nasty. Like, skill checks already pop up really fast. And like, I miss skill checks all the time, even though I've been playing Dead by Daylight for like 2.4 hours. Or something, 2,500 hours, sorry. Yeah, wow, that sucks. Dark Devotion. This perk is great for confusing and sneaking up on survivors. I love Dark Devotion. It's a plague perk. You know your girl. You know, we love her. We love a little vommy mummy. This perk is great for confusing and sneaking up on survivors, but the basic attack requirement makes it unappealing for certain killers. Dark Devotion will now activate whenever the obsession loses a health state. So we just have to hit the obsession and then run away and get that poor pathetic survivor grabbed off the gen. Love it. Jolt. Jolt allows the killer to regress generators simply by downing a survivor. To make it more consistent and punish careless survivor plays, we have removed the cooldown. Okay. Why would you punish careless survivor plays? They really need to work on their wording. Okay. Lethal Persuer. So, you like the aura reading, huh? On top of the existing effect, Lethal Persuer will now extend the duration of all aura reading effects by 2 seconds. Okay. Well, Lethal Persuer is at the beginning of a game, right? It's a Nemi perk. So, okay, cool. Gift of Pain. This perk also shipped with safer numbers, so we'll be increasing the action speed penalty to 10, 13, 16%. Phobia. Another quick one. We're increasing the action speed penalty to 4.55, 5.5% per survivor for a maximum of 18, 20, 22%. Scourge, Hook, Monstrous Shrine. Long have we waited. Monstrous Shrine has received a rework. This perk will now convert all basement hooks to Scourge hooks. Additionally, Scourge hooks will now grant 10, 15, 20% faster entity progression, but only if the killer is not within 24 meters. Okay. I'm kind of skipping over these guys because I'm not very knowledgeable on killer perks. I'm not going to even pretend to be knowledgeable. So these kind of mean nothing to me and I'm just skipping over them, sorry. Survivor perk buffs. Calm Spirit. In addition to Calm Spirit's current effects, you now open chest and cleanse and bless totems silently, albeit at 40, 35, 30% reduced speed. Okay. I mean, Calm Spirit is all about being silent, so I actually don't mind them giving a penalty. I think it's fine. If you're doing it silently, you might as well do it a bit slower. It doesn't matter. The killer's not going to hear you, so it's fine. Totem 1 might be a bit unfair, especially if you have, like, a boon totem to bless, you know? Like, well, I mean, the whole point of blessing totems is that you have boon totems, but, you know, it's already pretty long to bless a die totem, so that might be a bit annoying with that slowdown, but you know, Calm Spirit, I mean, how many times has someone ever really put on Calm Spirit? I do quite like Calm Spirit. It's great against the Doctor and some other things, but realistically, it's not better than Iron Will, so, you know, it's whatever. Saboteur. Saboteur is one of my most favorite meme perks ever. I love it. I love breaking the hook and saving survivors. It's my favorite thing. After months of studying, saboteurs can now identify Scourge hooks. Their auras are shown in yellow when a survivor is being carried. Use this information to your advantage to prevent Scourge hook perks from being activated. Wow! That's so cool. And I loved their comment on this. After months of studying, saboteurs can now identify Scourge hooks. Yes, I've been studying super hard. And you guys thought I was studying for game development and programming? No. I have been studying Scourge hooks. Dead by Daylight professional here. Botany Knowledge. Botany Knowledge now increases healing speed by 30, 40, 50%. Up from 11, 22, 33%. Wow. This is incredible. This is great. This makes Botany Knowledge pretty cool. I mean, how fast are medkits in general? Stick healing speed of plus 35%. Yeah, so this is great. This is almost like at the same level with medkits, if not even more. It's like 50% increase. Botany Knowledge is OP now. That's great. Okay. So moving on to Off the Record. Upon being unhooked, gain the endurance status effect for 60, 70, 80 seconds. The endurance effect is lost upon performing a conspicuous action. Confirm that was not a conspicuous action. While this is a lengthy endurance effect, any game progression action will cancel it prematurely, making it purely for evading the killer after being unhooked. Okay, so this is like giving them borrowed time. What Off the Record does, it kind of makes you silent or something after you've been unhooked. And now it's also giving you kind of really long borrowed time. I don't know if this is necessary because that's not what Off the Record is about. Off the Record is just about being quiet after you've been unhooked. It's supposed to give you like an iron will effect, right? After being unhooked. So I don't know why they're also giving it borrowed time. I mean, it's immediately lost when you do a conspicuous action. And if you're not being chased, you're gonna do a conspicuous action anyway. So I guess we can ignore it and it's fine. Doesn't really do much, doesn't really make it OP. But I think it will make it more used because it is kind of cool. If you like, you could like link this with current borrowed time and that could become quite strong. I think it would last for like 2 minutes maybe with the new borrowed time, right? How long was the new borrowed time? It gives an extra 10 seconds. Okay. Yeah. And this is 80 seconds, which is 1 minute and 20 seconds. It would be 1 minute, so for 1 minute and 30 seconds, the person could literally have borrowed time. Which I think is quite strong. Yeah, that feels quite long and strong. I don't know why they did this to Off the Record, but I guess it'll get used more. Maybe it wasn't being used a lot. Lucky Break. I mean, Lucky Break is really an incredible perk that was made OP. It was literally made broken and OP in the last update, like the updates 2 patches ago or something. You know, Zubatlel had a lot of stuff to say about it. I call him Zubatel, but you know, it's actually Zubatlel or lol, whatever you want to say. So Zubat had a lot to say about Lucky Break, and he was like, dude, this is gonna be super OP against killers. And it kind of was, because what Lucky Break did was so bleeding and scratch marks are suppressed for a maximum of 40, 50 to 60 seconds. So when this is at tier 3, it's suppressed for a whole minute. Bruh, when I had Lucky Break on, killers could not find me. Ever. They were just losing me in the loop, in the chase, because I didn't have any scratch marks. So yeah. This perk is great for escaping a chase, but the effect quickly runs out. We're giving survivors a way to recharge Lucky Break. Each second spent healing another survivor increases Lucky Break's duration by 1 second. The total time cannot exceed the starting duration. Bruh. Why do they want to make this Yui perk so OP? Like why? I don't understand. To be fair, I don't see a lot of people use Lucky Break, and it's probably because, like, as a new survivor, there's a lot of new survivors in the game, and as a new survivor, you probably just don't understand what Lucky Break does, and not a lot of people go for Yui as a survivor, so they probably just don't even know about Lucky Break. Let's be honest. That's just how it is. But this perk is remarkably strong for like a rando non-meta perk. It's quite strong. I don't know why they're making it stronger. I just don't understand. I'm not like bothered about it because no one uses it, but I just don't understand the need or like the intent behind it. What are they trying to achieve? I don't know. Okay, pharmacy. Pharmacy used to guarantee an emergency medkit the first time you searched a chest, which you'd either hope nobody takes before you need it or hide in a far off corner like a medkit goblin. Now pharmacy will activate whenever you're injured, guaranteeing an emergency medkit when you search a chest. Oh, that's so cool. This effect can happen multiple times in one trial. That's so cool. Good luck stealing my medkit now, Meg. How did they know? How did they know what I've done to Thamantine? Hey, Meg. Hey, Meg. Hey, Meg. Hey, Meg.
Hey,
hello.
What's up? Hey, you're gonna get that back. No!
Thank you, Meg. Thank you for the heal.
I want a DC so bad.
Meg, hey, you can have it back. Meg, no, Meg, look, it's there.
Ooh, that 360 the hell out of this.
Soul Survivor. In addition to hiding your aura, Soul Survivor will now increase your generator repair speed by 75%. I don't even know what Soul Survivor does. I know it's a Laurie Strode perk. Okay, at the moment, each token grants a stackable radius of 20, 22, 24 meters within which the killer is unable to read your aura. In addition to hiding your aura, Soul Survivor will now increase your generator repair speed by 75% and your exit gate and hatch action by 50%. Wow, generator repair speed by 75%. People will start to use Soul Survivor as if it's Prove Thyself, basically. And if you combine Soul Survivor with Prove Thyself, Soul Survivor and Prove Thyself become pretty OP together. I mean, that's a cool change, but again, I don't understand how it really links with what the perk is supposed to do. Like, the perk is supposed to be about hiding auras. Why does it help generator speed? Someone please explain to me. I really want to be in the meetings. You know, I don't want to be a fog whisperer because I would... I don't know if I want to support behavior's decisions. Radical decisions. I don't know if I want to support that. But I would love to just sit in the meetings and be like a wall on a fly. And just be like, okay, girl. What was your reasoning? What was the reason? What was the reason? Like, what was the reason for this? Like, why? Why have you added generator repair speed to Soul Survivor? It just doesn't make any sense with the perk whatsoever. Like, it's fine, it's great, I'm not complaining. I'm happy. I'm happy. I will use Soul Survivor now. I wonder if they're trying to, like, revive old perks that people are not using. It's fine for people to not use perks in the game. That's fine. You're always going to have a preference, depending on your playstyle and stuff. And there's so many perks in the game to choose from. No one is going to read through all the perks. I didn't even know what Soul Survivor did. I just knew it was a Laurie Strode perk. Distortion. For those who like to stay hidden, we've added a new way to regain distortion tokens. Oh, I like that. I like that. Gain 1 token for every 30 seconds spent within the killer's terror radius. That's cool. That's a nice change to the distortion. Cool. Good for them. Lightweight. Good for distortion users. Lightweight. In addition to Lightweight's existing effects, your scratch marks will be more sporadic, making you harder to track. Your scratch marks will also fade 5, 4, 3 seconds sooner, up from 1, 2, 3. This is good. It's made lightweight nicer. Lightweight is a Nancy perk. Okay, lightweight is just a generic perk for survivors. It says your scratch marks are now more sporadic, which is cool. If you don't know what sporadic means, it means like if there's a dot here and there's a dot here, that's not sporadic. If there's a dot here and then the other dot is here and there's like this much space between them, that's sporadic. So things are more spaced out and things have a lot more space between them. That's what sporadic means. It's frequent, but it's not as frequent as you would expect. Cool. I mean, you could pair lightweight with the Nancy perk, and that could be a cool combo. I don't know. The Nancy perk helps you see your scratch marks. So now it would be interesting to put that on and try on lightweight and see what that looks like. Okay, Déjà Vu. To help survivors power the 3 closest generators, Déjà Vu will now grant a 5% repair speed bonus to the revealed generators. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, Déjà Vu now has an extra speed related, repair speed related thing to a gen. That's cool. Does it make sense with Déjà Vu being an aura perk? No. Not whatsoever. Giving a generator repair speed bonus does not make any sense with Déjà Vu being an aura reading perk. Is it a cool bonus? Yeah, it is, but like, why have they added it? I don't know. Do you know? No One Left Behind. Beyond its current effects, No One Left Behind will grant a 7% movement speed bonus to any survivors you unhook. Okay, that's cool. Additionally, the perk now activates when the gates are powered rather than opened. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Okay. Now, I don't really know 100% what No One Left Behind does. Gain a 50% action speed bonus to unhooking and healing other survivors. Okay. Beyond its current effects, No One Left Behind will grant a 7% movement speed bonus to any survivors you unhook. I think this is good because No One Left Behind should try to help out the person unhooked. So that should include healing, and it should have included speed bonus ages ago as well. Because it's the whole point is you're going back for someone left behind at end game and you're helping them out. And it now activates when the gates are powered rather than opened. That's cool as well, yeah. That's really cool. I like that. I like these changes to No One Left Behind. I think this makes sense and it goes with the perk. So this one is okay. This one gets an okay from me. Dark Sense. We've changed the way Dark Sense works. When a generator is powered, Dark Sense activates. The next time the killer comes within 24 meters of you, their aura is revealed for 5, 7, 10 seconds. Dark Sense then deactivates. Okay, each time a generator is completed, the aura of the killer is revealed to you for 5 seconds. Once the last generator is complete, the aura of the killer is revealed for 5 to 7, 10 seconds. Okay, now, we've changed the way Dark Sense works. When a generator is powered, Dark Sense activates. So at the beginning of the generator then, as soon as you touch a generator, you see where the killer is. The next time the killer comes within 24 meters of you, their aura is revealed for 5, 7, 10 seconds. Dark Sense then deactivates. Okay, so they've changed it to every time you complete a generator to every time you start a generator. And when the killer is near you, within 24 meters, you get to see their aura. This makes it a lot stronger than what it used to be. This has become like a proper aura reading perk. And I think we will see people start to use Dark Sense a lot more. It does, however, also encourage people to hide. If you give people like survivors that much information about what the killer's whereabouts, it gives survivors really strong advantage to hide and prepare before the killer arrives. Like 24 meters is not a short distance. It's still a very large distance, and it will still take the killer some time, like a few seconds or more, to come and get to the survivor. So I feel like it can become a strong perk with the changes they've made now. And it'll be interesting to see if anyone actually uses Dark Sense now. I know a lot of people do use Dark Sense in general, but it'll be interesting to see if it becomes more popular now because of these strong changes, I would say. I don't really think, like, I'm saying it's strong changes, but I don't think it's OP. But, you know, it is a lot of information for a survivor, and they'll either hide or they'll run away before the killer gets there, and it could be used largely in a negative way towards the killer, and the killer could lose a lot of hooks because of it. Imagine everyone's running Dark Sense. By the time the killer gets to the gen, everyone's hidden. So the killer leaves that gen, but then you immediately go back on the gen. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a bit interesting. Tenacity. In addition to the current effects, Tenacity now reduces your grunts of pain by 75% when in the dying state. I don't know why they added Iron Will to Tenacity. Maybe it's because when people use Tenacity, they didn't see the benefit of it, because even though you're like crawling away from the killer can still hear you and come and pick you up if you're not being picked up by another survivor. Combined with the increased crawling speed, this perk will now be much more effective in crawling away from the killer. Okay. Cool. Alright, I don't mind this change. I don't love it, but I think it's good. I think it's a good change. Fine. Hope. Hope is great for those who like to make late game saves, but the limited duration can cause it to expire at an inconvenient time. Since this perk is only useful at the end of the match, we've removed the duration entirely. I think the duration was like 60 seconds. So you get 7% haste for 120 seconds? For 2 minutes, bro? You get a haste boost? Oh my days. I mean, if the killer has like 4 people running Hope at the end of the game, even if the killer has Noed, Hope literally makes Noed non-existent. I mean, like, how much speed boost does the killer get with Noed? So with Noed, killers get a 4% increase in speed movement. How fast are killers than survivors? I actually don't know these facts. Most killers have a movement speed of either 110% or 115% compared to survivors. Okay, and they get 4% more of increased movement speed. But survivors get a 7% increased movement speed with Hope. If the killer does not have any bloodlust on the survivor they are chasing, it's going to be extremely difficult for the killer to catch that survivor with Hope. I have seen Zubat loop killers at the end game with Hope 3 or like 6 or 7 times around a rock. That's how strong Hope is. I don't know about removing the duration entirely. If like 4 survivors all bring Hope, that could literally cancel out Noed. Hope could literally become like meta. I don't know, maybe I'm talking about out of my ass. Maybe it's not that powerful, but I feel like it could be. Like, you know those low-key perks that sound meh, don't seem appealing, and then like a really knowledgeable person about Dead by Daylight puts them on and makes them really cool and does like amazing combos. That's what I feel like Hope is. Hope is that kind of perk. We'll see what happens. I actually want to test some of these. I might make a video where I actually test out some of these theories because it seems quite interesting. I want to see. I want to see what it's like. Overzealous. In its current state, cleansing a totem grants you a repair speed bonus of 6%, 7%, 8%. Now that bonus doubles if you cleanse a hex totem. That's quite nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't mind this. It's not overpowered. I mean, it's meh. It's cool. It's a nice difference. We're gonna live forever. Let's see what they've done to this perk. It's a David perk, right? This is your healing speed by 100% when healing a dying survivor. When performing any of the following actions, We're Gonna Live Forever gains 1 token. Performing a safe hook rescue, taking protection hit for an injured survivor, stunning or blinding killer to rescue a carried survivor. So you get 100% healing speed when you're healing a dying survivor. Much like Barbecue and Chilli, this perk features a massive blood point bonus. We do not want blood points to dictate which perks are used, so we will have removed the bonus blood points from We're Gonna Live Forever. This change will release at the same time as the progression overhaul, which is expected to cut the grind by about 75% with matchmaking incentives, providing an additional avenue for blood points. Additionally, actions that previously granted a token will now activate the perk's secondary effect. While active, healing a survivor from the dying state grants them the endurance effect for 6, 8, 10 seconds. The secondary effect of We're Gonna Live Forever then deactivates. We realize that following these changes... Oh my god! They have some realizations! We realize that following these changes, a new meta will surely arise. Yes! That is exactly what I was thinking. Like, they've made so many changes. I feel like a lot of the other perks might become the new meta. I do feel like they have a competing chance now. Yeah, like Botany Knowledge. Botany Knowledge is OP. Botany Knowledge replaces like medkits, bruh. Yeah, I feel like they've buffed some perks in a way that would make a new meta. And obviously for killers, poor killers, man. They're literally shat on killers in this update. The killers are gonna have to find other perks to slow down gens. And the killers are gonna have to work extra hard to get survivors. I'm not really a fan of what they've done for the killer perks. I can see that they want different perks to become the gen meta for killers, but I'm not really a fan of what they've done for killers. I think it was a idea. But anyway, let's see what they say. We'll be closely monitoring the performance of each updated perk to ensure that none fall too far out of line. I mean, what does that even mean? These guys take like 4 days to patch bugs, basic bugs. What does we'll be following closely even mean? They don't even take into account PTB responses by real people playing their game and giving feedback. They don't even listen to the community. What does this even mean? Do I even care about this sentence? Moving forward, we hope to make meta-shaking updates like this a more frequent part of our plans in order to keep gameplay feeling fresh. That is a bad idea. That is a bad idea. People are gonna get so confused of what perk is changed to what that people are gonna stop playing your game. I don't think the Dead by Daylight community is a community full of people that constantly stay updated about the game, constantly want to know about the game. Like, I know people read patch updates and stuff, but personally, I would not want to constantly know the changes made to Dead by Daylight for perks. They've updated like, I don't know, 25 perks in one go. If they do that for like more patches, I'm not gonna read through 25 perks. It's just not happening. Plus, I don't use most of the perks anyway. The only reason I would read them is if I'm interested in the changes. But even then, I mean, the only reason I read this PTB update is because Brad Stacks told me to. He literally told me to go and make a video on it, so I did. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. This read was exhausting. It was really long, and I just don't care that much to spend this energy. The only things I would have read about would have been the perks that I was concerned with, like Dead Hard. And, what other perk did I say I used? Saboteur. That's all I would have read. I wouldn't have read any of the other perks. With that, we've reached the end of this edition of the developer update. Kudos to those of you who made it this far. It was a long one. As always, these changes will be available for testing next week in the PTB. Given the number of changes made, we'll be keeping an extra close eye out for feedback. Okay, that's good. That is good because they've made a lot of changes that I feel will drastically change the game. And if they do not stay on top of it and release frequent updates to fix their errors and their bugs and any other stuff that might come out with this patch, that could destroy their game. So if I were them, I'd be very petrified to release this, and I would be like, my eyes are like fixated on like what people are saying and what people are thinking about my game. That's how I would be if I was a developer for Dead by Daylight right now. We'll also be holding a live stream in the near future to preview the update and answer any questions you may have. Until next time, the Dead by Daylight team. Okay, that was actually held today. I'm recording on a Tuesday. That was actually held today, but you know, I missed it. They asked me if I had any questions about it. Yeah, I had one burning, really important question. Alright guys, it's been about 2 days that I've been making this video. I'm done with the video, I'm done with the patch changes, I've gone through everything. So yeah, those are my opinions on the patch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We have some funny bloopers now. We have some thumbnail moments. Me and Jess, we're having an amazing time making thumbnails together. She's awesome. Please check her out. She's in the description down below. And yeah, she makes amazing thumbnails. And I just want to pop in these bloopers here for you. Guys, that's it for this video. Please leave your comments down below. Please feel free to correct me, give me your opinions. I want to know what you guys think about this update and how you guys feel about this update. I just want to know. I'm just curious. Let's have a discussion. I want to see those comments rolling in, and I want to see people telling me what they actually think about the game. And let me know if you liked this video, because if you did, I will make more of these videos. But yeah, actually reading through the whole thing was really hard and really tiring. It's made me super sleepy. I just want to go to bed right now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.